I sound all right.
You sound great.
No, you know what? You sound
Yeah.
fantastic, and you
Oh,
look great too.
awesome. Thank you.
I like that your theme in here. You got the red
Yeah,
on
red,
both.
red,
Yep.
red. Yeah.
I
The
also would
video game
say
hat.
Deadpool would totally be playing Pokemon, 100%.
Yeah. With a chalupa or something. Good times.
Yep.
Alrighty, we are live. We've got no viewers yet, but they'll be coming. I'm pretty sure.
Mom, hurry up.
There goes the alert. So I know our 15 people are rushing in here. All right. So with that, we'll get started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome to Why Is This Game Crazy? And this is the Backlog, a show where we are over encumbered with rusty games of old. Fast travel is discouraged, and we have cheese. Cheese for everyone.
So much
Joining
cheese.
me, so much cheese. Joining me, as always, is Tyken, a man who is no stranger to spending his greater part of the weekend adjusting his character's eyebrow height. And
Yeah.
I am the resident mud crab whisperer, the Dawn. And if you haven't caught on,
I'm this close to getting through the character creation screen, so I'll get to the game at some point.
There you go. There you go. I'm sure it's lovely too. So yeah, if you haven't caught on by now, we are diving into our early experiences with Oblivion Remastered.
So good.
Great times. We will also talk about what we've been playing over the week and declare some of our favorite open world RPGs on Mount Rushmore. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And with that, I'm going to throw it over to the Bard. Do what you do.
Why is this game crazy?
Whoa.
It's like
that was
professional.
Slick.
Yeah.
That was production quality. And that cut right to it.
That was like in the last 10 minutes, I just slapped that together and it worked.
It does not show. That shows like you put some hours into it.
There we go. Awesome. Yeah, so let's just start with what we've been playing. I'm gonna pass it over to you first, and I'll tag team that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about it last week. I will say we're still on that repo playthrough. We'll be playing again tomorrow. So anyone who wants to join us and kind of watch the chaos unfold, I will say we had a little drama last time, which I think was kind of fun, right? Like we decided to download some mods for repo this time, and we added in more players. So the game's usually up to 6. We had 11 people join in the absolute chaos of repo, which may or may not have led to some bounties put on players' heads, which followed by some people taking it very seriously. Anyway, my brother killed everybody and wiped out the team.
If we rewatch the video, there were a few people playing the bounty hunter role. I like to think I got one, but no, Atlas says otherwise. So.
We did get to, so the bounty was originally an Atlas, who my brother claimed he had claimed the bounty, he had taken him out. We were able to go back and relook at the footage. We saw it from Zach's angle, was unclear. Your angle that you got on your Twitch stream was perfectly clear that Jacob did not manage to kill our friend Zach. It was done in slow motion. We're talking like Phoenix Wright came in, yelled objection. The footage was ran. It was beautiful.
We need a short of that.
100%. So
awesome.
Repo still the one we've been playing as like our casual group game. I am nearing the tail end of Sons of Forest. I've been playing that with a group of friends over the last couple of weeks. And that game has continued to be terrifying and horrifying and wonderful. An incredible base building system, incredible graphics, and something the Forest does, I think, better than most of these survival crafters is it builds a narrative. It builds a story. Like you are getting to places, you're finding out what's going on. So it adds that exploration element in, which I'm really, really loving. And getting near the end of it, like everything's just going crazy and wild. And I'm fighting creatures made of 100 fingers and hands, and it's terrible and disgusting and wonderful. So I've been excited about that.
Just to add on that was my game last summer that
Mm.
I spent a lot of time on. And the storyline, just like you said, this is why this is on my pillar of survival crafting games, is because Valheim doesn't really have a storyline. Like it does, but it doesn't. This game has a story to play through, and it is good. And you play with a group, and you run through it with a group, and you learn these things on the island. It's pretty awesome how everything's unraveling, and it's like, oh, why am I here? This is pretty nuts. And oh man, so good. I'm not going to get too far into it, but the storyline's amazing. The base building is great. The graphics are great. It's a beautiful looking game. And the monsters, it's got that thing where the monsters are hard. The little assholes come out and they storm your house, and those guys suck. Everything about it, but it is a ton of fun.
Yeah. And the thing I love about it is the environmental storytelling it does. Like, we're going to get into open worlds during this podcast, but one thing that this and open worlds do, at least the best ones, is they tell a story without having to like read a dialogue. You're not spending your time in a book. It's not a character in a cutscene. You walk into an area and there are dead cultists everywhere, or there's somebody who's brutally murdered, but it ties into the story and the creepiness factor of what the game's trying to tell without ever having to tell you. It's a show don't tell that is just so rare, I feel like, in modern gaming.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the other one we'll hold off on. I know you and I both have been playing Oblivion, so I think we'll talk about it. But I want to hear what else you've been up to. Have you been able to get to some games?
Yeah. So my weekend, I had all the greatest intentions in the world to spend a lot of time on Oblivion, and then Inscription. I played Inscription again.
I'm so excited you're playing that.
I was like, I'm just going to play it. I'm just going to get through this. And don't know how many like spoilers we want to put onto this. But,
like, so hard to talk about, right?
Yeah. So you get through the playthrough, and then you get through the playthrough again. And this took me, like, my RNG for this weekend was trash. And this took me 10 hours. And I've talked to other people, and they're like, that took me a couple hours. And I'm like, well, I just had really shitty cards. Yeah, but you deal with it, you get through it, you figure out the game a little bit. And that's what I like about it. You figure out the game, and you get through this 2 hours or 10 hours or whatever it takes you. Could be 20. It's a full game, this whole thing. And then as soon as you figure this out, the game changes completely. There is a storyline. This is not, I thought it was Slay the Spire. This is not Slay the Spire. This is a story. There is a game. Yeah. This is a roguelike within a story that's going on. And there's also other things that are within this story. So there's a lot of different things going on here. I feel like every time you know what's going on, you don't know anything about it, and everything changes.
Yeah. One thing that makes Mullen's game so incredible is what he's doing is a gimmick, but he takes that gimmick all the way into a real game. Like, again, we'll keep it vague, but that first part of the game you play is a fully featured, fleshed out game. It's not like you're just pushing it through and you figure it out and you're done with it. Like, I could just play that first part of that game and would have been happy. And then the mid part of the game, I'll just spoilers, you're only on the mid part of the game, is itself its own fully fleshed out game that I could just play by itself. And yet the way he transitions and sort of builds on and makes a story out of is unmatched. Like, I really don't know anyone who's making games in the way that he makes games.
Yeah.
So
it's
I'm
funny.
excited.
You guys recommended it. I said, I like card builders. Here you go. Play this. It is It is a card builder.
Right.
Until,
We're not wrong.
It is until like you realize there's something more going on here, and the game changes, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
Crazy game.
Yeah, I love that you sent me a screenshot and you're like, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, I know exactly where you are.
Awesome.
So,
yeah.
wonderful.
So it was so easy to start playing that. I'm like, I'm just going to play one more loop. I'm just going to get through the 4 bosses or whatever, play through it. And that thought, which is a 20-minute thing, and then RNGs against you and everything. And it becomes 8 hours into this game, and you don't realize it. Like, I'm like, oh, wow, I just played 8 hours. This is incredible.
It's 3 in the morning. I need to go to
fun.
bed.
Yeah. So fun.
It's the best kind of games. They just eat your time.
So, yeah, that ate my Saturday. And then I did try Blueprints, and I'm only like a day into it, but I can see where this is going. And I'm going to keep this. I'm going to play this game. It is great. The art is beautiful, cell shaded setting. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of puzzles going on. The puzzles are not like, what's that escape room game that you guys played?
Oh,
it's
Escape
not
Room Simulator.
Yeah. It's not like that. The puzzles are a little easier, and it's got a little roguelike feature in it. So pretty cool. They're not too, it does get complex. I know that. I know there's some math involved, but
there's also like meta story, and there's like meta puzzles. Where rooms are in relation will start to matter, but you get progress, which is nice.
Yeah. So very cool, very beautiful. I'm excited about it. The story is cool. And looking forward to play more of that. It's my back burner game, so it's something like I'm gonna toss in every once in a while, but it is great. And I think there's also a turning point where I turn this on and then I lose 8 hours. So it's something I easily can see that.
I like the roguelike nature of it, honestly. It's something I've been sort of gravitating towards when I don't have a lot of time, because I can do a run in 30 to 45 minutes usually. And this isn't just Blueprints. This is just roguelites in general. So you get that nice sense that I can do a run, get as far as I can. I get some progression out of it. It's a nice pace to pick up and play games, as opposed to, a lot of these larger 50, 60, 100, 200 hour games, where if I put those kind of games down for 2 weeks, I kind of come back and I'm like, what was I doing? Who's this guy I'm talking to? Roguelites just, they lend themselves well for that pick up and play. So a back burner game totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Other than that, I ended up at a retro game, used game store, and kids in tow, and ended up getting Animal Crossing. So playing that a little bit with
which Animal Crossing? Switch?
The New Horizon.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. That game's wonderful.
Got a deal on it. So my 6-year-old really wanted to play Animal Crossing. So we picked it up, played a little bit. That's same kind of thing that hits my niche of crafting and building things. And he read so much. Like I'm so proud of him because he's 6 years old and he's reading this game, and it's awesome. So good for the kid. I like the crafting stuff about it. There is multiplayer, so we just kind of figured that out. And I'm excited to have that as kind of I'm not taking it too seriously, but it's the game to play with him. And then lastly, I did a lot this week. And
you did.
Yeah. And so Claire Obscure, we talked about it last week.
Okay.
It was kind of a pass. And I was like, there's no way this game is getting 9s and 10s, and everybody, like, I'm like, how did they pay all these reviewers off to give this game such good reviews? And it's a small studio, and it's a masterpiece. Like I'm a
Is it
few
really?
hours. I'm a few hours into it. I played the first 2 hours of the game, and never have I been like, holy shit, that's a great story. These cutscenes were amazing. I need to pick my jaw up off the floor and watch this all over again and
From
restart
the
the game.
intro.
From the intro. From the very
Wow.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do some stuff and it's kind of slow, like
Mhm.
getting into the action of it, but it's so good. The story is just so fucked up. It's
Mhm.
crazy how this game is. And the music has some piano, some classical stuff. It sounds amazing. The voice acting is, you got the guy from Daredevil in there. You got the girls from um what's it called? PG3 in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
And there's some voice actors that are really good in there, and the voice acting is great. The soundtrack is great. The cinematics are amazing. Everything about this game is amazing. And then you get into the gameplay, and it's this turn-based with some parry system, and it's a little hard to get used to because you will try to parry, and the monster will come at you like he's gonna hit,
Mhm.
and he does fake outs. Like they all do fake outs. So
Oh,
you gotta kind of
jeez.
learn. He'll go like this, and then he'll
Mhm.
kick you or something. So
This is some Elden Ring, Dark Souls bullshit.
yeah, it's got that like Souls like. So I was playing
Yeah.
on normal difficulty, and the hits hit hard. If you do not parry or you don't get out of the way, it's not
Mhm.
very forgiving. So I had to scale it down until I learned it a little bit, but
Mhm.
oh, the game's so good. And if you want to play a turn-based game, if you're just in the mood for turn-based RPG and you don't like the parry system or whatever, just scale down that difficulty, play this game because the story is so good. Man,
That's wild.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just like last week I was like, I don't want to get into this. But Oblivion's coming out.
Yeah.
Blueprints
Yeah.
just came out. You know, I've got Inscription on the back burner. So it's like, okay, I kicked it on because I was loading some other game on my Xbox, waiting for that, and this was on my PC, and I started playing it. And I'm like, this is incredible.
Oh man. It's been installed. Like I am
Yeah.
waiting for it. I mean, not sponsored, but Xbox Game Pass has been a deal this entire last month, right? Oblivion, Blueprints, and now Obscura. But I will say it was the game that I certainly, and I think you were and Zach was, where we said, right? We saw the
Yeah.
trailer, it looks like another anime, like JRPG slock. And then it was the same thing. It wasn't just that we saw the reviews. I saw people I personally know who were like, I just beat it. That game's amazing. One of the best I ever played. You were raving about the intro. The intro alone, which for JRPGs, with an intro being good within even the first 5 hours, is a miracle. You know, I'm someone who likes Dragon Warrior, and that first like 5 to 8 hours is a slog, you know. But this game sounds like it hits the ground running. So I need to beat some other games. That's what I've committed to. But
Yeah.
there's going to be a part of me that's going to be like, I'll just load it up for a few hours and I'll never get to beating those.
I'll
other
just load it
games.
up, and
Yeah.
it
Yep.
gets you. The game gets you.
Can't wait.
So good. So that is my list.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stuff going on.
That's a busy week.
Just to echo what you said, Game Pass. This is the best I think I've seen Game Pass. Like
In years.
the best lineup. So if you don't have it, like right now is the time to get it. We've got Doom next month. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
no kidding. Yeah,
seriously.
that looks sick too.
So,
which I mean, the other two are incredible. That's an easy win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Doom, Blueprints, Clair Obscur, Oblivion, Shadow Drop. Like the game, the hits right now for Game Pass just keep hitting. And of course, you don't need Game Pass to play these games, but these are all on it, and it's amazing.
Well, something that's happened, and I don't know why it accidentally happened this way, but we aren't just getting like great games. We're getting great games we did not expect. Like I'm getting 1, 2, 3 punched with like we'll talk about it. We called Oblivion, but we called Oblivion like a week and a half before it happened, right? Like it's coming out of nowhere. Oblivion came out of nowhere. Blueprints came out of nowhere. Obscura came out of nowhere. It's like, what? Why did they all decide to just drop all these great games? I only have limited time. Okay. Can we space them out? One of these could have been in August. That's all I'm saying. And maybe August will be crazy.
Yes, it might be. And
I need
Borderlands
to
is right.
sleep. My
Borderlands just
family
got moved
needs me.
up. I didn't even put that in
Yeah.
the news.
Yeah, September.
But yeah.
Yep.
So I think it
Pushed
was
up by
later
like an almost a
September and it
month.
pushed back or pushed up a little bit. So yeah, crazy. We do have news to jump into, and as luck would have it, we're starting with Oblivion. So we got the speculation right. It did shadow drop.
I
And
need my $5, Zach. We didn't bet on it, but I just want you to pay me.
feels good that we got that right. We obviously paying attention to X or whatever, there was a lot of rumors on this, so sometimes they look good, and it looks like it's gonna clear the right way, and this one did, and super excited about it.
I can't believe not only was the date right, but like I was hearing rumors that just sounded too good to be true, right? Like I expected Oblivion, if they were going to remake it, of course they're going to up-res the graphics. Of course they're going to, fix some bugs, add in the DLC. They put this entire game into Unreal 5. Like, I'm not saying the creation engine's bad, but like Unreal 5 is new tech. They did that. They went through and said, we're going to redo the entire combat system. The thing that is the hardest to go back to in Oblivion. They just basically, they even evolved it in many ways over what Skyrim did. So like they took this game that we all love and they said, we're going to update the things that need to be updated. But importantly, we're going to keep the shit that isn't. They still let you break the game through spells. They still let you just sit in a corner, crouch and get to sneak 100. Like they even left in the dialogue. I was seeing a lot of people share this around. There's this thing in in Oblivion where somebody read their lines, screwed up, and then reread their lines, and they never caught it in the original game. The people remaking it did not go back and fix that.
No.
They purposely left it in. It was like, it was everything I wanted out of a remake. Like, to the T, everything I wanted out of a remake.
So, yeah, definitely that release that was announced and released same day. So pretty awesome there. We're somewhat seeing a trend where there's things like this, the switch to even that it's not shadow drop, but it does have a very quick release from announcement to release. So do you think we're going to see more of a trend on this? I know it gets me as a gamer excited. Like, I love this. I love shadow drops. It's the most exciting thing.
Yeah, this is something we sort of got in this period, especially through the late 2010s, where the hype cycle just kept getting longer. And the problem is that there are just so many games that don't deserve a hype cycle this long, right? Like, if you would have told me, if we would have had the Oblivion remake trailer or even that direct, and at the end of it, they're like, and next year it's coming, every part of my fiber would have been, right? I don't care about it. Like, maybe it'll come and I'll be good. But like, you shadow dropped it and everybody was talking about it. I was immediately seeing TikToks. I was immediately seeing people on X. I was immediately seeing people on Blue Sky just excited. It took the hype that they kept making this long cycle, it compacted it. And when you do that, you get all this free publicity. So if you're a smart company and you really, really want to drive your sales, you're going to find a way to make the hype faster. The internet just turns too fast to allow these 18-month hype cycles unless you're like GTA. And even then, GTA is just a meme at this point of like, crazy, this came out before GTA 6. So yeah. I hope so. I hope this is where we're going.
Pretty cool. I think there is some hype. Like, obviously, looking back at Cyberpunk or whatever, where it was like, this took too long. There was a lot of hype for it.
And it was shitty.
It didn't really live up to the hype, some may say. But But
Day one, it certainly did not. Day one, it certainly did not.
We'll save that for a little bit longer down the road today. But I feel like when you don't do that and you do a shadow drop like this, it's like the Big Bang Theory of hype. Like we're just going to put it all in here and it's just going to explode. And it worked. Like Oblivion, it worked. This just all the hype that you would have for 3 months or 6 months or whatever just happened. Everybody played Oblivion last week. It was wild.
Yeah. Everybody on our friends list, right, was just immediately like just pinging. I had to like stop people from playing Oblivion to come play Repo with us. So it's interesting. I think it's the right move. I hope more companies do it. I think there's still a space to sort of hype games, give them some breathing room. You have your big tentpole franchises, but if you want to do something like Oblivion, you're remastering an old classic. System Shock 2, I think it was a mistake that they announced System Shock 2 a month and a half early. Like, come out 3 days before, 2 days, or the day of, and like really sell it. Because the second I see your trailer is the closest to hype I'm going to be about your game. And if right afterwards you tell me I can go buy it, like I've already got my wallet out. But if you tell me I got to wait a year, that wallet just slowly slides back into the pocket. All right.
Yep.
So amazing. And
awesome.
Before we get too far, I do want to say it has been an absolute treat going back and playing Oblivion. Like that game, I sunk 200 and some odd hours in a decade ago. It doesn't have the replay that I had with Skyrim. And so getting to go back to Oblivion and spending this time, like it's finding an old friend. Like there are many times I got into a quest, I got drunk on the boat and woke up and I was like, I forgot this happens, like it just was moments of that everywhere I went in that game. But the biggest moment was the intro. You have the intro and you're scaling around the Imperial City, and my body literally got goosebumps remembering where I was in like 2006 or 2007 and who I was at the time. Like there was just a return to childhood, even though I was an adult at the time, but a 20-year-old adult. And so that part, it almost brought a tear. It felt special to get transported back there.
Awesome. And we will touch a little bit more on where we're at in the Oblivion experience later today. So we'll save some more for that for sure. Switch 2 pre-orders went out last week.
Yep.
How did that go? Did you get one?
I'm waiting. I signed up for Nintendo's, which will be May 8th. So I've got about another week. And I should be able to get my pre-order. I'd be surprised if I'm not going to get it day one, because Nintendo did have people pre-register. They should have an idea how many.
Yeah.
I'm getting a weird mix because the way that Nintendo split it out is they gave certain amount of pre-orders per company, and some of those companies did it per location. And what I'm finding is the companies that did online sold out almost immediately.
Yeah.
But I know that there are stores here where I live that still have pre-orders you can get. And they're not GameStop. They're not, the traditional, actually, I can't think of another game store besides Best Buy. Best Buy's pre-orders are gone. GameStop's pre-orders are gone. But I have local stores here that still have pre-orders you can get. So
interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Which if you're looking for one, let me know. I'll tell you where they're at.
Okay. Well, I did 2 experiences. So I did the online thing and then I did the in-store thing. And the online thing the night before I wasn't going to do. And when did those happen at midnight our time, or East Coast time, right?
East Coast time. Yeah. So they were there at
9 o'clock our time. So I jumped on at 10 o'clock onto Walmart and it was available and I got it like an hour later.
Nice.
Like no lines, no nothing. So that was my experience there. I was playing around with Target and Best Buy that night before, and those sites weren't really getting it for me. So just kind of went back to Walmart and it worked out and that was cool. The next morning, because I had some GameStop money that I needed to spend, I tried to get it on their pre-orders online, and their website was melting. Like it was insane. The whole thing was crashing. It would not work. So gave up on that pretty quickly. Then I went into the store, the store down the street from my work, and same thing. They opened up at, I think, 10 o'clock. We went over there at like 11:30. Like it wasn't like we were tryhards or anything. Like we just showed up an hour and a half later, and they're like, "Yeah, we got 80 allocations, and we've only done 35 so far."
Wow. Okay.
I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, get me one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it worked out pretty good with a couple of those. So hit and miss, I guess.
Yeah, that gives me a lot of hope that what we're looking at is there's going to be a large allocation, and it's going to be spread somewhat around the country. That I think if you were the kind of person who didn't pre-order, if you're willing to go out day one, I don't think you're going to strike out as much as you had in previous consoles. I think there's a good chance you're going to go to the type of retailers that have electronics that aren't very exciting, Kroger, right?
Mhm.
Those kind of brands. I bet you they're going to have some in stock day one. It's not going to be a ton.
Yeah.
But, we're not going to be looking at the Wii, which you and I were working at a game store when the Wii came out. That was a 2.5, 3 year wait list for people.
Right.
I don't think the Switch 2 is going to be that. And I don't think it's because it's not popular, which was the narrative kind of coming into this, that people aren't going to buy it. It's out of touch. It's too expensive. I think it's the right price. I mean, I hate to say it. I get it.
Yeah.
It sucks, but 500 is where we're at. And I think people are going to buy it.
Yeah. And maybe they're prepared for it. So
I
a little
expect
bit of both.
I will not be surprised if in June or July, the Switch 2 is announced as the best-selling month of a console ever, the best-selling launch. I will not be surprised.
No. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. So, speaking of the right price.
Oh, no.
Today.
Oh, no. This segue. Oh.
Today we had news that Xbox's prices are going up on
a lot.
Almost 4-year-old console. Like, really, has this ever happened?
No, not going up.
I've never.
No.
4 years into a console generation, I have never, in my wildest dreams, thought this would ever happen.
I mean, at this stage, they're making a slim version that runs a little bit faster, less energy, and it costs $100 less, right? Like that's been what we've been doing for 15, 20 years now.
Right. So
interesting. Xbox, yeah.
They
how much
they're up? So I know the Series X went from 500 to 600. So yeah, it ranges depending on what you're getting from like $50 to $100.
I feel like every one of these like meetups, we're talking about the same political countrywide problem. But the reality is that Xboxes are made in China, and China has 145% tariff. Like that sucks, but that's the reality of it. Costs them a lot more. Consoles are already not money drivers for these companies. They usually try and sell them roughly at cost, most of the time like $20, $30 less. If you're already losing money, it's such a hard sell to say, hey, lose double that, lose triple that. So I'm not surprised they're passing that on to the consumer. I do think they were a little cheeky that they're also passing on the price of games. Like, we talked about this last time, right? The Nintendo is going to lead the pack in making $80 games a reality, and Xbox is following suit.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, but buy shit on sale. Like, wait, if it's Ubisoft, just wait a year. It'll be $20. So
yeah,
it's fine.
Historically, Nintendo's always had the cheaper, like $10 cheaper games. So they're definitely coming out with this new generation where they're like, we are equals or we're better, you know?
Yeah.
And And so I'm sure Xbox saw that and they were like, wait, if a Nintendo game, which is traditionally cheaper than our games, goes for that, why aren't we going for that?
What I do think is interesting, and I don't know to give points or not, but like Xbox came out and was pretty transparent about it. Like they could have totally said nothing and just released new games at $80. But they came out and like did a sort of pseudo press release. And I'm not sure why. Like they didn't have to. And if they were hoping to garner like sympathy over the $80, like that's not going to work. Like no one's going to be like, oh, poor Microsoft. But on the flip side, if there was a way to be like, but your Xbox Game Pass is still going to be the same price, like I could see it as a marketing opportunity.
Mhm.
But that was the only thing that took me away. They had to announce the consoles. They had to say, hey, it's going to cost more. That was too big of a jump not to. But the games, they could just shut their mouth and release them. So I don't know. It was a weird choice.
Yeah. At the same time, I don't think Game Pass is going to stay at this price much longer. So,
I mean, frankly,
we'll see.
They've been providing value. It's hard for me to say, like, I mean, it's $10, right? It's $10 for the console. It's $20 for Ultimate Edition, or maybe it's 15. I got to be honest, I don't remember.
15 and 20, yeah, something like that.
But they've done a really good job of making sure that the games you get have really great value. If it goes up to 20, 30, like there's going to be people out, sure. But it feels like when Netflix goes up in price and people are like, this is ridiculous. And then they keep paying.
Take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times. So, sandwiching back to the Switch a little bit, I think we touched on this before. Just want to get a take on this. The game cartridges, there's a lot of reports about this. They are the only data on this is the key. There's no actual game stored on these. What do you think about that as somebody who collects or whatever? Like
I've moved most of my library digital already, and it's the first thing that really pushed me that way was Steam, right? Like my entire PC, you can't find PC games to have physical copies of. That's not a thing that happens in 2025. So it's not surprising to see games move that direction. I have no problem that that's where it's going. My problem is that if you make a physical copy of that game to sell in a store in a physical location, you are being deceptive.
Yes.
And not just because I'm going to open it and I'm going to be like, I expected a game cartridge that I could play without being connected to the internet. My bigger problem is there are, in the internet feels ubiquitous, but there are plenty of people that don't have it. And there's going to be especially poor people that don't have access to the internet, and grandma or the uncle is going to buy him a game expecting a physical copy of that game. And there's nothing worse than giving something to a child and then them not being able to get it for your shitty business practices. Like, just don't sell it in a box. Like, if it's not available in a cartridge,
100%.
Don't put it there. That's such a dick move.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to say, like, we have internet, Wi-Fi is great, blah, blah, blah. But our buddy Atlas at the same time right now, he's living this where he's waiting for Starlink to figure out their shit or whatever so he can get a decent rate. He can't go and download 5 different games for his Switch 2 right now. Not a chance. Like, it's going to cost astronomical. And there's a lot of people in that situation where they're not in the city and they're outside and they can't just download 5 different games for this.
Yeah, it's deceptive.
It's impossible.
It's deceptive. So, that's my main problem.
I think, it's the thing about physical is I like that option. I like that option to be able to not be plugged into the internet and just play a game. So, yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah, I think it's a bad move. I think companies should not, again, if you want to just provide digital, fine, make it part of the digital store. Again, I play Steam games. They're all digital. That's the reality. But if you are putting a case in a physical location I buy it from, I'm expecting a physical game. And it's not on me for being wrong about that. And you can put all the branding you want, where it's digital only, coupon code only, blah, blah, blah. Nobody expects that. Don't do it.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. That part really bummed me. It really bums me, and that's a thing.
All right, moving on to good news. So, much like you celebrating a big milestone this week, Resident Evil 4 celebrated 10 million players with a thank you video.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch this?
I didn't get to see this.
Okay. So the big thing about it is what was noticed online is one of the wooden signs that was in the game, they changed it to be a wooden, it's already a wooden X, but then they put a line under it. And when you look at it, it looks like it could be a Roman numeral 9.
Oh,
So perhaps
a new Resident Evil?
Perhaps we are mentioning, a new Resident Evil coming out soon, or at least a trailer coming out in the very near future.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
Dude,
yeah, good.
Capcom is quietly, it's weird to say quietly, but I really feel like people are not genuinely appreciating how out of the park Capcom has been hitting the Resident Evil games. Like, their remakes are incredible. 2, 3, and 4, back-to-back bangers. I think they transcend the original source material, which for Resident Evil 4 especially is a goddamn miracle. On top of that, 7 and 8, like Village was incredible. 7 was, I think 7 is actually better than Village, but they're still both incredible games. To have another Resident Evil coming, like that's get up on your chair and get excited.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so pretty exciting there. Like you said, you nailed it on the head. Like, their remasters are not every other game's remaster.
No,
maybe Oblivion,
Yeah.
But yeah, the level of remasters that they're doing, these games look like their current generation. Like, it looks good, it's scary. Great games. They were great back. Resident Evil 2 in the 90s was great. And to be able to play that again on current gen with current graphics and get those scares again, or have my kids get those scares again when they're a little older. Oh, priceless.
I also love, like 2, 3 were incredible for their time. They remade them. 4, I would argue you could go back to now and play it, and they still remade it and amazing. 5 and 6 start getting a little like, can you remake them and make them good? Like 5 had a great co-op. I enjoyed 5. I will say 6 is hot garbage. So if they were just like, hey, you know what? We did our remakes. We're moving on. Probably cool. Code Veronica maybe needs one. But anyway. I if they go straight to 9, totally get it. And I will be hyped for 9. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna go watch that trailer now. I didn't even know it happened.
Cool. And then this is real life. Somebody brought
yeah, I've heard this.
A Call of Duty replica monkey bomb on a plane. Why do you think that's a good idea?
TSA won't let you bring bottled water. Why did you think a replica bomb was going to make it through?
I brought little liquor mini bottles with me one time, and you're allowed to, as long as they're, whatever.
Under so many ounces.
But then you can't drink them. And I just felt like really dirty, like even thinking about bringing these with me on the plane. And some dude brings a replica monkey bomb. Like, wild. So yeah, go ahead.
Stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, TSA confirmed replica bombs are not okay for carry-on or check baggage. So.
How do they feel about replica guns if they look like exactly like real guns? Is that okay?
I think as long as you follow the gun check-in procedure, I think you'd be fine, but probably not a carry-on. Last thing. So in a few more days, we have May the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of stuff coming out. I know Fortnite just came out with stuff. Brawlhalla has a big Star Wars collab. I know you're probably excited about.
Nope.
Nope.
I'll tell you. Actually, I reconfirm this. I've had a problem with Brawlhalla. I don't think it's a great game. It's free and it looks beautiful, but I'll tell you, it's the only platform fighter and only fighter that my brother whoops my ass at. Like, it is to the point that I feel like I'm not even pressing the control button correctly. Like, I start moving my controller upside down. Maybe that's what it takes. Like,
Yeah.
woo,
Like Armored Core.
good for the Brawlhalla community. It's a free game. It's wonderful. Yay, yay, yay. I'm not touching that thing with a 10-foot pole.
So anyways, happy May the 4th.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Yeah, that's all we got for news. Lots
Star Wars
of stuff.
games are on sale. Go buy KOTOR 1 and 2 if you have not played it. I bet you have, Don, but I'm talking to our audience. KOTOR 1 and 2.
I might have played it. Yeah.
Dude, it's going to be like $3 to play those games. They are, bar none, some of the best RPGs I've ever played. Till I play Obscuria 33. These two. The first one especially might be in my top 5 coolest moments of all time.
Yes. Awesome. So yeah, that's it for the news. We're going to move on to the RPG Mount Rushmore. And then we do have some more time for Oblivion after that.
Open world RPG, right?
Did you do open world? Yes.
I mean, you wrote open world.
It is open world. Yes.
Because I think there is a distinction there, right?
For sure.
All right.
Yeah. We'll see if we can contest some of these if we need to. But yeah, so yeah, this is our personal Mount Rushmore. This is 4 games that left the biggest mark on us as the players. They're not necessarily the most critically acclaimed or best reviewed, but they might be because we played them and they were fantastic. But they're what meant the most to us at the time we played it, things we think about and still look back on. These are those games, and this is the Mount Rushmore. And with that, I'm going to let you start. And we're going to go back and forth. We'll go back and forth.
Yeah, we can't repeat. We can't share.
We can't repeat.
Right.
So I hope you brought some extras.
So that's the big deal, right? Like, we're picking up, it's a pretty large genre, but I think they're very pinnacle open world RPGs. And what I was making a point of before is that there are great RPGs. There are pinnacle RPGs that exist. There are pinnacle open world games that exist, right? Like, I'm thinking Assassin's Creed as an example of being like a really great open world, or Minecraft is a really great open world. But that mix that gives you the open world RPG, I think, is incredible. So thank you. First of all, thank you for letting me go first. I'm going to go, because this category is so important. I could go deep cuts. I could. I'm not gonna. Well, instead, I'm going to go to the one that I keep going back to, and that's Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Okay.
Like, I get, right now we're in this sort of cycle. I'm seeing a lot of people sort of getting into Oblivion and they're excited about the newness of it, and it's incredible. But Skyrim really is, for me, the pinnacle of open world RPG. Like, it distilled down and defined what it means to be an open world RPG, because it does allow you this opportunity of exploration where I go look at that mountain and I know I can go explore that mountain. That's the open world aspect. But what drives the RPG home is when I get up there and I find a cave, and that cave leads into its own individual story. And I go into that cave and I find out this Bosmer died of poison. And the reason he did is because his friends were getting infected and he thought he might be infected too. And you play through this entire arc of this story of this entire cave. And at the end of it, you learn what happened and all the characters and the storytelling. And maybe you gain some levels and you fight some enemies. And then you step out of that cave and you go, oh, there's a cool looking tree over there. And you go over there and have the exact same experience. Nobody has done it better than Skyrim and the emergent storytelling that I've seen in games. And Oblivion's great. It's wonderful. It's a breath of fresh air. but I will never not go back to Skyrim. Every 2 years, I'm modding the shit out of that game, and I'm diving another 80 to 100 hours in, and then I'll be back 2 years later. So for mine, if you give it to me as the first one, I have to snag Skyrim.
That's it.
The best on my list.
Nice.
So what's yours?
All right. This might be debatable.
I've
Would
got
you
my
say
pen.
KOTOR is open world?
No.
Okay. We'll leave that one. That's going to go on a different list.
I'll tell you, the thing that differentiate for me about open world is the idea that I can go anywhere and the game will allow me to do so. Like World of Warcraft, as an example, has zones that have particular levels. Like they're open world within their zones. And, you know, with KOTOR, actually, I think if you want to argue it, I think I'm totally cool with
there's an argument, but I feel like you do zone between, you know, different planets and different things. So it's definitely arguable, and I feel like maybe if there's like a little Mount Rushmore off to the side, we can place it on there and be like, hey, this could have been, but not quite open enough. So I will agree, but it was a game that did mean quite a bit to me.
So you did play KOTOR. You were just were stringing me along.
Of course.
Oh my god. We need like top 5 or the Mount Rushmore of best reveals. Because that game's twist.
Oh. Yeah. So crazy. That's like
jaw dropped on the floor. Yeah.
You're just playing it. You're like, wait, that's okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Change of the whole game.
I hate that guy.
Hey, wait a minute.
Awesome. Moving on. Hopefully this one's not debatable. I'm gonna throw Fable 2 in here.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a good pull. That's a great pull.
So, and the reason I was working at the game store at the time, and we had the hype for this game was so incredible. The first one was so good, and I would put the first one in, but I feel so much more towards Fable 2. And one of the things that happened before this game even came out is they gave you pub games. And I don't know if you played this.
That. I did.
You could play this game on Xbox Game Pass or not Game Pass, but
live.
Xbox Live, right?
Yeah.
You could play this game and everything you made in the card games you were playing transferred to the game once it released. Incredible. That was nothing we've ever seen like that before. For a game to have a pre-order mini game link into the full release. So very cool. The other thing about this game for me, first of all, love Fable, love the humor. It's great. The action's great. The magic's great. Everything about this game is great. I also love stealing things. So going to the little shopkeepers, that was something I did a lot in Fable 1, but in Fable 2 too, you could go into the shop and steal stuff. Lots of fun, or just steal things out of the rooms. Something I really liked about Fable 2 is you could get a house, and you can get more houses. You could get all the houses, but you could get a house, rent it out, stop playing the game for like 2 weeks, and come back, and your income is like coming in for this.
Yep.
Like there's a passive income thing. I really like economy and making money, and this thing just had it all for me. Like you could play cards before it came out. You could rent houses when it did come out and walk away for 2 weeks and come back, and like you were playing the whole 2 weeks. Crazy. The mortality system, you know, again, KOTOR and Fable, both of them, like you can be a dick or you could be good. And with Fable, that was fun. It was fun to play both sides.
What was nice real quick about that point is that this was the first game that I felt like your morality impacted how characters in the world saw you. Like KOTOR and Dragon Age were really great in the fact that your dialogue choices changed. But like you'll be walking around in Fable 2 and like people would boo you if you were evil or like cheer if you were a good guy.
Yeah.
Or prices at shops would change. And it wouldn't just be like if you were a good guy, they would get discounts because they liked you and they wanted you. You actually got more of a discount for being a bad guy because they were too afraid to piss you off.
Right.
And so it just organically fed into the game itself, as opposed to just being this like binary thing that existed in a lot of other games.
So good. And
Mhm.
you would get the the trophies and the chicken kicker title and all these
Mhm.
things about the game. It was fantastic. There's so much the game, the world, and that's what I really love about RPG games is the world in Fable 2 was just so smart. It knew what you were doing. Like it knew you were bad. And
Yeah.
it treated you and it reacted and the game changed depending on how you were playing.
Which made you feel like you were a part of it, like it really drew you in to feeling like you were engaging with this living, breathing world as opposed to being the only catalyst for motion.
Yes.
Yeah. I do have a funny story on Fable 2. So I was playing the DLC, and there's this point where they kind of have this contrived. The main villain of the area wants to offer you money to let him keep doing evil things, and he offers me 1,000,000 gold. Now at that point, I had been heavily invested in the real estate market, so I think it was every 15 or 30 minutes, it would pop up with my rent. So as he was offering me 1,000,000 gold, my 15-minute rent dropped and it was like 8.5 million. So this guy's like, I'll give you 1,000,000 if you let me be evil. And I was like, bro, I make that every 15 minutes. This conversation cost me more than me just killing you.
Yeah.
It was such a fun, like out of the pocket moment.
That's awesome. Oh, so good.
Nice. I believe it's still yours. Let's do Snake Order.
Oh, you want to do Snake Order?
Yeah. Do you
Are
not
you
want to do
sure?
Snake Order? I can go back. I can
I
go back
give it
tomorrow.
back to you. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
If there was 3 of us, maybe.
I'm doing a deep cut. It's a deep cut in the world of open world RPGs, and it's another one of those we could argue on. I want to
Okay.
call out Subnautica.
Okay.
How do you feel? Do you think it's RPG enough?
I did not play it.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna claim Subnautica as my out of pocket. I'm gonna use that phrase again. Pick here.
Yeah.
Subnautica is a exploration game set. You land on a water planet and you need
Mhm.
to survive. It's very much towards the survival crafter, but the RPG element to this game is really about as you explore, you're unlocking new mechanics that allow you to continue to explore the world. Like you might get the blueprints to build a better knife to defend yourself better. You might get blueprints to be able to explore in deeper depths or get faster. Subnautica might be one of the best organic exploration games I've ever played. Like it leads you in such a subtle and intelligent way to finding the next steps to explore further into that game. And there's never been a game that has managed, even the sequel of Subnautica has not managed to do what this game did. Like it matched that way in Skyrim where you find a location and you explore it and you get this like organically told story. But as you continue to dive deeper and deeper into this ocean and explore more and more about what happened to the people on the ship you were with when they crash landed before you and how they attempted to survive, to you trying to master your own survival, I don't think there's a game that has managed that level of intense exploration within what is arguably not a large zone. I would
Mhm.
say it's a fourth of the size of Oblivion and maybe a fifth of the size of Skyrim, but it's just so packed full of interesting, engaging content throughout that I got done with Subnautica and I literally just turned my computer off and you do that thing where you see yourself in the dark screen and I was like, we're going to think about this game. Like you and me are going to mental, reflection of myself. We're going to think about the experience we just had. It was such an incredible game. And
Awesome.
again, I might be skirting the line on the RPG, but it's totally worth your time.
Yeah, I have heard that about the game. The reason I've stayed away from it is I like doing those games with friends, so it's like survival craft, but by yourself, and I'm like, I don't know, but
It's so different.
it's
It's
on the
so
list.
different
I'll
from
play
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subnautica 2 is coming out with multiplayer though, so
Yep.
be excited for us to play that.
Looking forward to that for sure. Awesome. So my number 2, I'm actually gonna pick Cyberpunk.
Crossed on my list.
Was it on your list?
You monster.
So, and I want to say I have not revisited this game since launch.
You were in for a treat.
I played this within 2 weeks of this launching, and I had the Xbox Series X, like one of the first ones that came out, and it ran flawlessly. I had no big glitches, no issues with this game, and I was addicted to this game like right when it came out. I played through the story. I kind of wanted to, save Scum a little bit to go through some of the other stories, but I don't think I did. I just played through it, but I was so into the characters, and Keanu Reeves does great work. Like, it's so good. The characters, the world, the lighting. Oh my gosh, the game is just so good.
When it rains in Night City and you're driving around with that neon lights reflecting off the road, it is a magical experience.
Yeah, and the story is great. Like, great story. I haven't played the expansion yet. Like I said, I played this when it first came out. Had a fantastic time with it, and I just couldn't stop playing. Like, I played it for 2 or 3 weeks straight just until I got through it. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, Cyberpunk's incredible. I will say you are in for an absolute treat to go back to there. Like, they've improved on every single system. They've increased the immersion throughout the entire game. It sat in a space in my head where No Man's Sky sits, where it came out and I was very disappointed. I bought it day one. It didn't live up to what I wanted, and then they turned it around. And I keep telling myself, I'm not going to let games keep getting away with this. And yet, when you spend that much time and you really make it right, like where Cyberpunk is today is the game that deserves to be on Mount Rushmore. Where it came in and launched, I had a lot of problems. There was a lot of disappointment for me. And so having it come back around from that disappointment is incredible. So, yeah. That, again, it was on my list. I crossed it off because of how good it is. I mean, that game's
the talking gun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. So much fun.
Now you get slow motion bullet time off motorcycles shooting through windows, taking out guards. Like, it is
pretty
you
awesome.
need to go back and play that
after
you beat Inscription and Obscura and Oblivion.
Yeah. Subnautica.
And Subnautica. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Going back to me.
Yes.
I'm going to pick another modern hit because I think the open world RPG has just been slamming, and that is going to be Tears of the Kingdom, Legend of Zelda. Oh my gosh. They took everything that was incredible about Breath of the Wild. I mean, granted, it's the same world. It's a direct sequel to those games, but they gave you even more toys to play with in Tears of the Kingdom. That building my vehicles, exploring all the new areas that existed, coming up with new ways to fight enemies, tougher enemies to face. I mean, those 3-headed dragons are awful, absolutely awful, but it's that nice challenge that exists beyond it. The story has moved forward in both maturity and interest. I love the new Ganon. Matt Mercer getting to speak as that character was incredible. But similar in the way that Subnautica and Skyrim, and this is really a big deal when it comes to open world RPGs to me, is if I see something interesting, I better be able to, one, get there, and 2, have something interesting happen. What Tears of the Kingdom does along the way is it makes the journey there be amazing. And that's the real thing that made Tears of the Kingdom just such a masterpiece of a game. And it's hard for me when I sit down with a list of like even the best Legend of Zelda games, and I'm like, is it Ocarina? Is it Tears of the Kingdom? Is it Link to the Past? They provide such different experiences, but only Tears of the Kingdom provided me with an open world RPG experience.
Okay.
So that easily my number 3.
Awesome. Well, fitting that this is not number 4 for me, and now it's number 3. I'm gonna do Fallout 3.
Ah, it was on my backup list, to be fair.
Okay.
But yes, that was definitely on
Okay.
here.
And there's something about these games that when you feel something, that's the RPG, right? And like you're in Fallout, you start in the vault, and is this you have like the life go on, and then you walk out of the vault for the first time and the sun just hits you and you're blind, and I've never seen that in a video game before. Like it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Oh, that it comes out,
It's like,
does the
oh,
roll,
you can't see. And
and
they
you
do the
just
same
walk
thing in
out
the
on the
show. It's like,
city.
oh my
Oh,
God. When I saw it in the show, I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. Reminded me of playing for the first time. I played the original Fallouts like on my Windows 98 computer or whatever.
right.
And the other thing about Fallout is that it kept a lot of those things like bats, and
Such a
iguanas
smart
on the stick, and
implementation.
like just seeing these things at that time, and now seeing it even more. But like seeing those things in Fallout 3 just gave me so much nostalgia for when I played those old games. And I'm like, oh my gosh, iguana on the stick. This is awesome. Um, it's so cool. The world is so cool. It you're taking this strategy game and making it into a massive RPG. And it everything about these games, Fallout 3 and 4, but everything about these games was like you're walking out of the vault and you have no idea where to go. And same thing with Oblivion and Skyrim. Like you walk out of these little silos and the whole world is just open. And it's like you can go anywhere. And you do, you know?
Yeah.
The story is yours.
It was really like Morrowind, really it's Morrowind into Oblivion, Oblivion is Skyrim, and Fallout 3. New Vegas wasn't made by Bethesda, but it was really that like this is golden era Bethesda at the peak of their game. So much so that every game that keeps following is either going to be less than or a remake of these golden eras. So Fallout 3 remake win is all I'm saying.
Oh, I know.
I have such fond memories. Megaton City, having to go into the tower with was it Pennywise Tower, just having the Fat Man launcher shooting nukes, like everything about the game that was the first game I really truly remember scouring the entire world to beat. Like I did everything I could in Fallout 3.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was just so perfect.
Oh, such a good world. And obviously, you know, the four came out 76 or whatever it is, and then yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the show came out in the series, and it is just popping. So Fallout, and I love that franchise is just awesome. It's a great world to play in. It's a great world to see, and I can't wait to see more.
It was also cool. This is my last aside, but like Fallout 1 and 2 came out, everyone loved. That was on PC at the time. Brotherhood came out, everyone hated accurately when it came out. Fallout 3 was bought by Bethesda. That they're not the original developers of Fallout 1 and 2. They didn't take the time to go get the original developers. They said, we have a vision for this game. We're going to put it out. And I will tell you, being in the game store, everyone was skeptical about what they were going to do. And now nobody really thinks about Fallout 1 and 2 or Tactics or Brotherhood. Like, it's really, Fallout 3 was a pinnacle moment for the franchise and a big deal for Bethesda. And it's because it's goddamn incredible.
Yeah. Who could have imagined that? I get the same feeling when you see the old Grand Theft Auto versus Grand Theft Auto coming out on the PS2, and it was like, we're gonna take this game where it's a top-down camera and you have a little stick figure, and we're gonna turn this into a third-person game.
We're gonna turn in the most important franchise in gaming.
I remember like seeing that, and I'm like, there's no fucking way they're gonna do that with that game. Same thing with Fallout. It was like, there's no way you're going to take that game from the 90s and make that into something great.
Right.
And yeah, it's totally unexpected what they did.
I'm on my last one. I'm on my last one that I could pull out. Okay. We have to do some greatest hits. I'm not going to do it now. You still have another choice. I'm not going to steal it from you, but like, not greatest hits, runners up. Like, I refuse to walk out of this conversation without a few honorable mentions, because there's one more that sits on my list that I have to do. I have to. I'm picking 4, and that is Elden Ring. Elden Ring is my number 4 on my list. I cannot not have it on here. That game is a masterpiece from start to finish. It took first of all, From Software on a roll. Like, they built some of the most interesting games over the past 10 years, 7 years. I don't know when Dark Souls came out, but like Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. But what they did with Elden Ring is not only did they distill what made Dark Souls amazing, they used the open world experience to make that the most accessible without sacrificing difficulty of any of their style of games. Like, Elden Ring gives you the same ability to explore where you want to go. You see an area that you think is interesting, there's going to be cool shit there. And every spot's going to do it. They know how to tell a story within the areas they're at that's cohesive and interesting, but it's weird and it's out there, but it's not that there aren't pieces to connect there. If you find an area, this is sort of the problem with Dark Souls. If you get to that wall in Dark Souls, you just have to keep slamming your head against it. That boss is who you're fighting. That's what you're doing. Elden Ring says, hey, you know what? You're having a hard time, buddy. Why don't you go south? You went into the castle. You can't beat Roderick. That's fine. Why don't you go see what's down there? And then they throw a rune bear at you because it's Dark Souls and that game's a dick.
Yes.
So it is the absolute best at telling the story of an open world RPG with the absolute incredible game and story design that Miyazaki is known for. I mean, people have made entire careers over just explaining the lore of Elden Ring, and you don't even need that to just enjoy that game throughout.
Good God, and the visuals.
I'm happy with this list. I got to be honest with you. This is a good list. Oh my God. There are a few moments in Elden Ring that live in my head forever. And yet that game's old enough. I'm just going to keep it vague, but I will be clear. There are 2 moments in Elden Ring I think are some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. One is fighting the guy that turns into a meteor and comes from space. Is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The other one is going down an elevator. This actually replaces Blackreach at Skyrim for me. Going down an elevator and realizing I found an entire new zone in this little dungeon I walked in.
Yes.
I literally was on my microphone going, what?
So beautiful.
Yep. There's my final one.
Okay.
What do you got, Don? What
do I got? What's the last
out
one?
Before?
Since I didn't have KOTOR. I'm going to go with Dragon Warrior.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. All
It's,
right.
you know what? There's probably not a lot to really say about it, but like, here's the thing. I remember once again going back to why games should be, if they're physical, they should be physical. I was out in the boonies working at a summer camp one summer, and like we had an NES, and this was the game we had. And we just played the shit out of this game and listened to Led Zeppelin, and maybe it was just like killing the slimes over and over and not really getting anywhere and just learning to grind, a
Mhm.
game so we could get to the next, beat the boss or whatever. Um, I don't know. It's lots of fun. It's really corny. It's like one of the first open world RPGs, I would say. But also this laid the foundation for a lot of things.
Oh, 100%. And it's crazy to go back to especially Dragon Warrior. Like everyone kind of goes back to Final Fantasy that's from sort of our era, but like Dragon Warrior laid a blueprint down. Like it isn't accurate to say that Dragon Warrior walked so Final Fantasy can run. That's only true in popularity. What Dragon Warrior pulled off and being able to not only set the genre of RPGs, but it was a blueprint that other developers went back to 20 years later and was like, oh, we can do that now. Like we could do what Dragon Warrior was trying to do. And so, yeah, that's a
Mine's
deep pull, but a good pull.
Mine's purely on just nostalgia and memories of playing this game. Like, it
Hmm.
didn't matter what really happened, but it was just the experience of playing this game when there was not a lot else to do, and I loved it. It was great.
Dragon Warrior got to exist in a time that I don't think works anymore, where one, I had it and you had a lot more patience for sort of esoteric bullshit. Dragon Warrior certainly had it, but what that led into was the sort of like you would get stuck on something in Dragon Warrior, and then you go back to your elementary and you would talk to other kids about it, and some random kid would be like, "Oh yeah, the poison herbs over here. If you go into the middle of the forest and hit A, it's unlocked." Like it was that sort of knowledge sharing and sort of pre-internet where we all got to work together to, talk about what this game is and the sort of ways to get through it. And
Yeah.
that can't happen again because the internet spoils everything.
Or
But
again, go to the school and, oh, your buddy
mhm.
draws you a map or whatever. So
Yeah, yep.
those kind of things don't happen, but it was happening when we were playing this game, and it was a different time. But you went to school and you talked about these games, and you wrote stuff down for each other. You had journals.
Hmm.
Blueprints is kind of bringing some of that stuff back, so it's really cool to
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
It is something that I kind of miss. I kind of don't because I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not willing. If Dragon Warrior came out today, brand new, I wouldn't play it. But having it at that time it came out was such a magical moment that I feel bad that younger generation doesn't get to explore.
For sure.
All right. So I just got to
Awesome.
say, so my top 4, Skyrim, Elden Ring, Tears of the Kingdom, Subnautica is a really good list. Like I feel really happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you ended up with Dragon Warrior,
Yeah,
Cyberpunk
Fable,
2077,
Cyberpunk, and
Fable 2.
Fallout. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
these are
not
good
bad.
lists.
Yeah.
What is on your list that like you had as a backup, you're ready to talk about? I have 2 big ones that I'll keep quick. But like, was
So
there anything you
I
didn't get to talk
had
about?
any of the Borderlands. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Borderlands 3, the newest one that came out, was the one I played the most. I love that game.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's not really story as it is like just loot shooting and
Oh
getting through the
yeah.
bosses and everything. So
100%.
it's like that's why I kind of want it on the runners up. And then other
Mm-hmm.
than that, you could probably put any Pokemon up here and be okay with it. Diamond
Especially
and Pearl.
late game Pokemon.
Yeah.
For 100%.
Diamond and Pearl was one that came out while we were working at the video game store, and I got it, and I was addicted to this game. I remember having my DS, driving a manual car to work, and having it like in the cup holder, and just like hitting the buttons because everything was touch, right, with the DS.
Right.
So you're just like hitting the buttons, and grinding while I'm driving to work. Terrible thing, but I burned so many hours in that game, and it was a ton of fun. And Blue and Red were great too. But man, when it came to the DS, it was like, oh my god, this game, so good.
Yeah. The two I want to put on, they're not surprising. I do want to say that in the vein of CD Projekt Red, Witcher 3 obviously deserves to be in this conversation as one of the best open world RPGs. I still think to this day, no one has done side quests better than Witcher 3 has ever done, which for some games is like this throwaway thing you put in to pad time. Witcher 3 was like, no, these are probably going to be the most interesting parts of the entire game. And so and granted, Witcher 3 is huge now. It has a Netflix series. Plenty of people have read the books. It built itself, but it built itself because of how goddamn good Witcher 3 was. The other one we can't walk out of this conversation without talking about is Red Dead Redemption 2. It's sort of light on the RPG elements, but no one has made a better open world as far as just letting yourself immerse into the fantasy that is being a cowboy. Red Dead Redemption 2 has done better. It's even now, that game came out, 6-7 years ago. People are still using screenshots of it to send to news people who think it's real, actual life shots. It's like, that game does sunrises and sunsets like no one's ever seen before. And still is one of the best.
Stunning.
Games. I had one more on my list. Hold on. Give me a second to think about it. Oh, hold on. I'm going to look it up.
Can I piggyback on that?
Yeah. Do yours.
So I'm going to piggyback off that. I posted this question on Instagram, and one of the followers said San Andreas, and it was not something I originally thought of. Is this what you had or no?
No, but that does have a lot of good RPG elements.
It was not something I originally thought of, but I did think about it a couple of days before, and I was like, is San Andreas an RPG? And it kind of there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of personal stats that you have to keep up and everything. So I would say it definitely could be in this list as an open world RPG.
I think it could. I think it absolutely could.
One of the greatest Grand Theft Autos, for sure.
All right. If we're going to continue sort of skirting the line, I just want to throw out Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag.
Okay.
Absolutely incredible. You had RPG elements for your ship. You had RPG elements for your character. I think it's probably more open world action, but I just want to throw it out there. It's absolutely incredible. The other one I had in my head was Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
I do think Hogwarts Legacy is a little bit long in the tooth. I think there are parts of that game, which is why it didn't show up on my top 4. There are parts of that game that drag, but the absolute experience of walking around the Hogwarts castle is unmatched. The attention to detail, the absolute crazy amount of things you could do in that game and the world around it absolutely deserve at least a mention. It'll never be anyone's top 4, but there was a good 10 hours of Hogwarts Legacy that might be in my top 4 because it was just so goddamn good.
For sure.
All right. That's it. It's all the ones I want to make sure.
That was also mentioned on my Instagram. Somebody brought that up.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So
anything else on your list?
No, that's pretty much it. We'll save KOTOR for another time, but it is one of my favorite RPGs. So I do want to definitely
too.
You mentioned it earlier, and there's a lot of similarities to Fable 2. So like you had a card game back.
I mean, that was popular at that point. Like ever since FF8, it was like everything needs a card game, and they're not wrong,
Had, you know, the good and evil thing going on, and
right?
the characters were reacting, and it's, I think, you know, a lot of early BioWare stuff there that you've seen in
Mm,
like Mass Effect and everything.
peak
They build
Bioware.
on this. They build on how the dialogue works and everything. So it was a great time. Great RPG. Cool. So we are done with Mount Rushmore. Moving back to Oblivion just to talk about where we're at and things that we've noticed coming back into the world.
Yeah. Do you want to
Yeah.
start off?
Yeah, I'll start off. I'm gonna start off and say the script for this game, the intro going through with the king and everything, and what he says to you is some of the most moving dialogue I've ever seen in a video game or ever heard in a video game. What does he say? Everybody knows they're gonna die, basically, but you know, I know the hour, and not everybody does. Is essentially what he says. I don't know word for word, but I'm like, that is the most incredible thing. He says that, and he's like, I know I'm gonna die. You don't know when you're gonna die. Go live your life, basically. You know, and then he shoves you out, and he dies. Spoiler: it's in the first 20 minutes. You still there?
I haven't got that far.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah. But yeah, you escape from the dungeons below the city and come out. And it when I did this last week, it was exactly like when I did this back in 2006 or whatever.
Right.
You come out and they're like, you could go do this quest, or you can fast travel over there if you're weak or whatever,
Mhm.
or you could just go do whatever you want. And it's the world is so open to you right off the bat. They do a really good job of just siloing you through the story and then pushing you out into the world. And they're like, hey, go do this thing. You should probably work on this, but go do whatever you want. And yeah, great time. I love the intro.
Yeah. I mean, right away across this little lake or pond, it's not super big, there's Aelid ruins. To your right, there's the docks. Behind you is a fully walled city you have to walk around to find the entrance. Like they just immediately drop breadcrumbs and they're like, what are you interested in? How do you want to play this game? Every person you talk to has their own dialogue, has their own persuasion system to them. Every time you go to the shops, like they have their own unique items for you to buy. Beating enemies has their own unique weapons and armor and items on them, or not unique, but like they have items and weapons that
Mhm.
are interesting to you. Like this game really just says, here's a sandbox that we're going to tell you stories in, engage how you want to do. That's amazing.
It's
Like,
crazy.
yeah, it's almost Skyrim does better, I think, at the visual storytelling. Oblivion does better at the making characters and a plot lines for you to follow because it's not so signposted. It really does say like you get out of this game what you want to put into this game. Skyrim delivers it to you. Oblivion says you're going to put some time into deciding what you want. And really no one does it better.
Yeah, it's really choose your own adventure, really. Like
Mm-hmm.
it feels like
100%.
playing D&D or something. Like there's a thing, but you can like the players will go whichever direction they want to go. And
Mm-hmm.
there's this ongoing story there, but there's also hundreds of other NPCs that are doing other things that are they will stop and talk to you and lead you into another direction. And it's so crazy how big this game is.
No kidding. And it really does a great job at emergent storytelling. It it I see a lot of younger people really stepping into Oblivion and really enjoying it, but I don't think people really appreciate. This game is not interested in holding your hand as an RPG. You can absolutely screw yourself in this game. You can level up the wrong way. Granted, the remake's way better at it than the original, but like if you spend your time trying to run and jump and just get your jumping skill up, because that seems like a super easy thing to do, you're going to level up the world around you. And if all you could do is jump real good and not sword real good, you're going to have a really hard time. On the flip side, this game also has no problem letting you break it. You can, Skyrim got rid of this, but you can make your own custom spells, and it is not hard to find ways to level up super fast magic or to make stealth completely broken. The sniper archer build continues to be the king even through the remake. So if you're willing to engage and spend your time, there's a meaty RPG here. But you do got to be cautious that this is not an RPG where you just say, hey, let me see the world I'm exploring. This is demanding of you to say, hey, did you show up at Kvatch at level 15? Good luck, sucker. Hope you leveled well.
Yes. I did go to Kvatch, though, and closed the gate, went to Kvatch and went in the thing, and then there was a broken NPC on the way to the Duke or whatever. I don't know if you ran into that.
They kept all the good stuff. They kept all the good stuff. It's still broken.
He's like, come into the courtyard and kill all these people. And I'm like, we're in the courtyard. What are you talking about, dude? And
everyone's dead, bro.
Just kind of frozen. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I had to Google. But yeah, so did that, found the king's bastard or whatever, and now we're on a quest back.
So you're working for the blades and working your way through that quest line.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, Oblivion's also really beautiful, and the remake looks like how my memory of 2006's Oblivion worked. It looks, I'm sure it's not, but it's a definitely another differentiator from Skyrim, which Skyrim has some great Stark experiences, but like Oblivion's just a beautiful green lush world. And so it's very exciting to go explore that, and it's a nice change of pace playing Skyrim.
Yeah. And then well, I'll say, when I went to Kvatch and I went to the back of the castle and just embers are falling from the sky, and it looks so amazing. Like this game, it looks very modern. It doesn't look like they just skinned on things. It looks like they really worked and made this look really good. I know a lot of it is skinning and everything, but my God,
Unreal
it's
Engine
so
5.
pretty. Yeah, it's so pretty. Yep. The scenery is so pretty in this game. Very, very good to look at. So
I'm excited to see Bethesda move on from the creation engine. Like it's sort of a give and take. Like the creation engine is very moddable, which is why it's the most modded games. Like Skyrim and Oblivion in that order are the most moddable. And I think that mod developers will figure out how to do with Unreal Engine 5. It's a very common engine. You can build games for free. So I do think it's not that the mod scene is going to go away, but I do think that some of the key things or the charm that they could do with the creation engine's gone. On the flip side, Unreal Engine 5 is just a better engine. Like a great job, Bethesda. You did creation engine. What you pulled off was great, but like no one else is making games in your engine. So I'm excited to see them move this direction. I hope that they continue sort of driving this way and letting the things that they're really good at, which is level design and world building and clutter design, they're the best in the industry for. I hope this unlocks more of their potential to focus on that better than what they did with Starfield.
Yes.
Yeah. There's so many games to play, Don. I don't have time.
Starfield did not make our Mount Rushmore.
Just barely.
No, yeah. There was
Didn't make the honorable mentions either.
There was a smaller rock on the other side.
Yeah. You're like, Starfield's a thing, and then they just chuck the rock.
Would you have laughed if I said Starfield?
Yes.
Yes.
I would have questioned our future segments.
Yes. I did play it. It was
Me too.
okay.
It was fine.
It was short,
Yeah.
I guess.
New
Very,
Game
very
Plus was
narrow,
neat. Yeah.
very linear.
Meh.
Yeah.
Oblivion. I need to go back and play it. After I play
Yes.
Expedition 33 and Blueprints.
Yes,
And
I think
finish
you need to
Avowed.
play those first. I think
Never
Oblivion
gonna get
becomes
to
my guilty pleasure over the summer. Like whenever
Mhm.
I'm not playing something, that's also going to be my game where I'm just like, okay, I need to put some hours in this.
What are you building your character? Are you going magic? Are you going stealth? Are you going
Going
weapon?
straight melee. I'm
Are
a
you? Me too.
warrior barbarian. Yeah.
Two-handed, one-handed?
I like the thud that the two hand does. Like
Yeah.
I love just hitting once and like it just destroys them.
The
But
combat
I do
system
like
is so good.
yeah, I do like the quickness of the one hand. So I
Mhm.
have like I picked up a one hand it was like a dagger or something. I really like the way he just daggers
Mhm.
everything and it's like, oh, it's so good. And it was like a frost dagger. So it was like super overpowered whenever I got
Right,
it. And I'm like,
right.
oh my God, this is amazing. But yeah, the animations is like super slick for dagger work and oh, so good.
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth. So typically I was playing Stealth Archer for my original runs of Oblivion. This time I did the combat and it just felt so right. The parry mechanic with your shield and
Mhm.
taking advantage of that. I was like, I want to explore more of this, which traditionally in Oblivion, I had zero interest. I think Oblivion's melee combat of the original is hot garbage. Skyrim did such a better job. I think this is better than Skyrim's combat.
Yeah, it
So
feels
I
good.
love going to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I
People said it was Dark Souls like. I think they're glazing a little, but I get where their direction's going there.
mhm. Yeah, good combat.
Mhm.
It's
Who
crazy.
knew? That's all it took.
Yeah, I think the original combat steered me towards magic classes and range
Yeah.
classes just so I didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. And this one just felt naturally better.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I like it. But I also, when I play RPGs, I love melee classes. I don't know why. It's just
Mhm.
feels a little girthier and maybe it can carry a little bit more in its pack and I don't know. I like that.
100%. I'm all about if I have to leave a treasure chest of items, I feel like I failed as a player. So having more carry capacity every time.
I was over encumbered like before I left. Like
The sewers.
before I left the sewers. It's like, oh, I probably don't need all these forks and broken cups. All right. Yep. It happens.
All right.
Like
More
I'm
to
gonna
come. I'm
make so
excited to
much
play
money.
more Oblivion. Yeah. I'm a sales for copper.
Awesome. Yeah, so that is all we have tonight.
Yeah.
Want to say thank you for our one viewer that's out there watching.
Thanks, Mom.
We can't do this without you, so really appreciate it. We will put this on Spotify, on the Apple podcast. We'll get them
Yep.
all on there. So this will be edited and up there probably in a day or two. I don't know if we'll have our Monday again, but we should get back on that schedule pretty soon. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll get that working.
yeah. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.
Taking out.
Peace.
Laters.